Southern California, you're only a tank of gas, round trip in most cases, to an amazing alpine lake, Big Bear Lake, home to rainbow trophy trout. We're going to show you how to not only catch them, but local guide legend John Cantrell is going to show you how to think like a fish.
Season opener here with Think Like a Fish, and I guess we need to review what we're going to need to do for this season. And number one is what? Get that fishing license. You don't want to get out there and get caught without a fishing license. That gets kind of expensive. So, number two, you need to get into the garage, get that rod and reel out and put some new monofilament on there. Surely don't want to get that trophy rainbow and have that line break and go like, you know, for $3 you could have changed that line and landed that fish. You probably don't have the night crawlers you had from last year. Why? Because they're probably not in too good a shape. So maybe you ought to change that dough bait. Hey, so it's been sitting around and it's probably lost its buoyancy and the strength of it, and it's probably a good idea. I'm going to show you a way to store that, and hopefully it'll give you a little bit of advantage to keep it a little bit longer. Here we go. There we go. So a lot of people have a tendency of storing their bait like this. Flip it upside down. By having it upside down, it'll help keep the air from getting in there. Makes sense? And it'll stay longer. So I'm sure that you probably stored it like this or like that, but this is the best way to store it. There we go. So we're looking forward to another good season. Water levels didn't come up as we anticipated. Whether just Mother Nature missed us in November, December, January, and I think at that point in January we had maybe 4 inches of snow. And then February came, and we'd been in the mid-60s, and John made a big mistake. He put a boat in Wednesday before President's Day, and we were in the mid-60s, and that was Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, then Monday came, and we had a high temperature of 28, and it snowed. And then after that, every week it would snow. So we ended up with about another 20 inches of snow. And so anyway, you can thank me for that. And then spring break came, and the snow was gone. We got a little bit of rain, and fishing's been really, really good. At that point, I believe the surface temp on the water was 48 degrees. Today, we are at 52 degrees. So it's warming up just like we anticipate, and pretty common. And the fish have been, I gotta tell you, down at Eagle Point to the observatory, and not too much further than that. It's been pretty good, and most of the fish have been quality fish in that 1.5 to 2 pound range. We did get a 19 incher the other day on a half of a night crawler. So everything's working, lures, and the worm. So, and watermelon in color, the old Daredevil pattern, red and white, and pearl bikini. There you go. Those have been pretty much what I've just kind of been throwing them out there every day, and everything by the end of the day is taking a rainbow. Really been pushing for catch and release. It's kind of nice to see a lot of the clients this year getting that CPR, getting that photo of that fish, and then turning around and letting it go. So I gotta say we're probably at about 60% of the fish have been released. So that's good for the future. The future, well, we have a couple of tournaments coming up. trout tournaments. We have Fishing for 50,000. That will be on June 9th and 10th. If you bought a ticket for the kayak drawing, that will be on the 10th at the awards. Big Bear Sporting Goods was nice enough to donate about a $3,000 kayak, and anyway, everybody's been buying the tickets for that, and the drawing will be at the awards on the 10th. Fishing for 50 has a little different format this year. I'm not quite sure. You can find out from Visitors Bureau, but they have two divisions, male, female, or three, I guess, and then the kids. And I think they're going with big fish as well, something like that. But you can get a hold of the Visitors Bureau and find out what's going on there. And then in June, on the 17th and 18th, the Carp Roundup, which is always, Mike Stevenson puts that on from MWD. It's pretty fun. They have two divisions where you shoot with a bow and arrow, or you catch a carp from a line, fishing line. And then late in the fall, we have the Western Outdoor News Trout Fest. It's back on that weekend again in October, 6th and 7th. Last year they did it in September and didn't work out too well. So they backed it up to the original dates, is that first weekend in October. So, okay, and for you boaters, the West Ramp is open. It opened up on April 1st, so 6 to 6 is my understanding, but you might want to call before you get over there, and that's 909-866-2917. And make sure that there's somebody there at the ramp to go ahead and get you in and inspect your boat, get your permit. So we want to thank Jerry Bosco again. We're back here at Bosco's Bait and Tackle. What is it, 400 Pine Knot over here at Pine Knot Marina. So we're looking forward to another great season, and go ahead and subscribe. Go to YouTube, Think Like a Fish, John Cantrell. Subscribe. There you go. And they'll keep you up to date on what's happening here on Big Bear Lake. So don't forget, the worst day of fishing beats the best day of anything else. We'll see you at the scales.